Our government is this morning reiterating its assurance that coupons and maturing bonds of all holders will be paid as it formally closes the domestic debt exchange program with over 80% participation. It has, however, opted not to make any direct comment on exemption of pension bondholders despite the week-long agitation by the Pensioner Bondholders Forum. The Individual Bondholders Forum, on the other hand, want government to honor its obligations. There is more in the following report.
So after several hours of meeting here at the Greater Accra Region Police Command, the police have finally agreed that the Individual Bondholders Forum cannot go ahead and picket to demand that the Finance Ministry honor their obligations under the bond agreements that these individuals have with government. We know that last week, some of the bonds fell due. Government has not honored it still. According to lawyer Martin Kwebu and Dr. Akwete, who are leading the organization, they want government to know that this is not something they are going to allow, and that if government does not come out clearly stating exactly on what terms they are going to pay them, they will keep picketing at the Finance Ministry.
Okay, so technically we're not going on the same path. What we're simply asking of government is to honor the bonds that are due. Because before we went into the DDE program, we had an understanding that it's a voluntary process. And so government is expected that if one opts out, their coupons are honored. And so we are going strictly according to the documents we have and the assurance we had before this DDE program that all voluntary bondholders will not be penalized. They will be honored. And so that's just what we want. So we're not asking for anything out of what exactly what is due us. That's all.
Over the past week, the pensioners bondholders themselves have also been picketing at the Finance Ministry. They had such a boost when they were joined by former Chief Justice Sophia Ekufo. It does not seem to have made any difference, but this group thinks that this will now make a difference.
This is going to make a huge difference. You know, this is coming on the back of our liberation by Chief Justice Sophia Ekufo. You see, she gave us an impetus by coming to demonstrate, by picketing. So we are taking off from there. Look, Mr. Asante, it's not a joke. When we picket for 5 days, it's going to galvanize more support for our cause, because this is a cause that we must win at all costs, which is that individuals must be exempt. And government took a good step by saying they will honor existing bonds. So we're hoping that eventually then they will come to exemption, because, Mr. Asante, the question is, the point is that government is not presenting the agreement today to the IMF. They still have some time. Even if it were Friday, they can ask the IMF to give them some time to redraw the, the program, the debt exchange program, so that they specifically say individual bondholders are exempt. So we have a lot of time on our hands. And we believe that this picketing will help galvanize support for our cause.
From a point of view, the ministry has said that this is not compulsory, this is voluntary. So you can self-exempt and just expect that they'll pay you when your bonds fall due. Why are you still insisting that they give you specific instructions that says that you are exempted?
Yes, Mr. Asante, that is better security. Saying individual bondholders are exempt is better security. Having seen that, as we speak now, some bonds matured on the 6th of February. That was last Monday, about 4.2 billion. The actual figure is 4,185,000,000, but let's round it up to 4.2 billion. Government hasn't paid, and government hasn't had the courtesy to even talk to us, to even say anything about when that money will be paid. So you see some of the disadvantages when government doesn't use the word exempt. So government needs to communicate with us. As we speak now, the failure to pay that money is causing some of our members palpitations, sleepless nights, so much uncertainty, harrowing pain, because people don't know when they will be paid.
Reporting from the Greater Accra Region Police Headquarters here in Accra, Kweku Asante for JoyNews.
And my colleague Joseph Akable joins me with a copy of a statement from the Finance Ministry. Joseph, government first addresses the concerns regarding its obligations. Is that it?
paragraph of the statement issued by government says that government would like to reassure all individual bondholders who elected not to participate in the exercise that your coupon payments and maturing principals, like all government bonds, will be honored in line with government's fiscal commitments.
Now, we know that the pension bondholders have been asking for a direct statement from government to exempt them from this. Is there anything like that in the statement?
No, in actual sense, government repeats its stance that it has been consistent on in terms of putting it across and using the word voluntary twice. The first paragraph here says that from the onset, the domestic debt exchange program to its closure on Friday, 10 February 2023, the participation in the program was voluntary. It goes on to say that having in mind that the entire exercise was voluntary all throughout, the exercise, the government always affirmed that crucial fact, quote, that individual bondholders are free not to participate. Thus, the right of the individual to self-exempt was never in doubt. And so, once again, repeating the refrain that it is voluntary and you have the option of self-exempting as against addressing the concern that has been raised by the pensioner bondholders, especially for government to clearly state that they are exempted from participating in this particular exercise.
Also, before today, earlier in the day yesterday, we heard of some 80% subscription. Is that it, or there is more to it?
The government says that at the close of the exercise on Friday, 10 February 2023, it had secured over 80% participation of eligible bonds. The government therefore wants to thank the people of Ghana for their forbearance and support throughout the very difficult times. It goes on to say that the domestic debt exchange program is being done to help protect the economy and enhance our capacity to service our public debt effectively. It adds that the alternative of not executing the DDEP would have brought grave disorder in the service of our national debt and exacerbated the current economic crisis. The government is therefore grateful for the overwhelming participation of all bondholders.
All right, grateful to you, Joseph Akable. So those are the details from the statement from the Finance Ministry. Now, convener of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anani, says they still insist on issuer exemption and not self-exemption from the government debt exchange program. In a statement issued, the Ministry of Finance has indicated an 80% participation after a closure to its debt exchange program, but the pension bondholders say they are unwavering in their demand for total exemption. Listen to the former Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Edu Anani Entry, explain the rationale for issuer exemption from the government's debt exchange program. Stories now. The NHIS owes Margaret Hospital 9-month claims. The management of the Margaret Hospital in Pando in the Volta region has disclosed that the National Health Insurance Scheme owes the facility 9-month claims. The administrator, William Lajaka, fears further delay in clearing the debt would affect the operations of the facility. He was speaking to the media on the sideline of the 31st World Day of the Sikh celebrations in Pando.
Margaret Marquardt Hospital is a major health facility in the Pando municipality. 7 clients from the municipality, Hohwe and Biakuye district. Hundreds travel here to access health care at the facility, which was adjudged the best in the Volta and Oti regions in 2022. However, the smooth administration of the facility is threatened as the NHIA owes it 9 months of claims. William Lajaka is the administrator of the Margaret Marquardt Hospital.
98% of our clients are health insurance card holders, but all the money that we have are locked up with the National Health Insurance. Health insurance owed the facility about 9 months of reimbursement. From last year, we paid up to April 2022. From May till date, we have not received any money. And so all the money is locked up with National Health Insurance Authority. However, medical consumer board and the drugs, we have to buy them with cash now. So that is a major challenge affecting the facility. And government is not going to support the facility in any way. So those are some of the challenges facing the Margaret Marquardt Catholic Hospital.
In a related development, the Catholic Diocese observed the 31st World Day of the Sick at the premises of the Margaret Marquardt Hospital. Addressing the gathering, the Bishop of Ho Diocese, Most Reverend Emmanuel Fianu, admonished health workers to develop positive attitudes towards work.
In short, our caregivers must be another Christ to the patient. May Christ see in our care, may the sick see in our caregivers the Christ they believe in. Human tendency, unfortunately, leans towards doing the right thing when there is an eye looking on, an authoritative eye for that matter. I know that if I should pay an official visit to any of our facilities, every caregiver will be seriously at his or her post. But I know that is not always the case.
The Kpando MCE, Jofi Badasu, implored health workers to exhibit high standards of professionalism in their line of duty.
Hence our team take care of him. Most people who die in some of our facilities wouldn't have died if they had received the best of care. But I want to just advise that let us try to do our best. Serve humanity irrespective of the person's status. Give up your best as a health worker irrespective of who the person is.
3 staff of Catholic health facilities in the whole diocese were awarded for their distinguished services. Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Kpando.
So joining us on phone now is William Lajaka, who is the administrator of the Marquardt Hospital in Kpando for more. So let us understand, you talk of some 9 months in arrears that the insurance has to pay you. What effort have you made and what have they been telling you as to why those payments are still in arrears?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Yes, it's true. The National Health Insurance Authority owed the facility, Margaret Marquardt Catholic Hospital, 9 months of arrears, totaling 2,368,187 Ghana cedis. It's actually having an unimaginable effect on the facility. And so we always engage them. As a charge facility, we can never turn the clients away. So we still provide service to the clients whilst we engage the health insurance to try and reimburse the facility on time so that we don't actually run out of stock. As we speak now, most of the medical consumables and medicines, we have to buy them with cash. So it's actually having a greater effect on the health facility.
Okay, so it is because you are not able to buy the supplies. That's why you are taking this decision.
Exactly.
But I was asked.
Most of the suppliers now demanding cash before you pay. You get cash to go and buy the medicine, and then health insurance clients come consume the medicine and the consumables. It will take you some 9 to 10 months before they pay you. It's actually a major problem facing the facility.
But usually the Health Insurance Authority explain that it's about filing your returns. I mean, making sure that documentation is completed. Sometimes it's because some of you, the service providers, are not able to complete that on time, and that's why they also have to delay because it takes some few months to process your request. How is that also affecting the situation where you find yourself?
Yeah, so I can speak for Marquardt Hospital. We actually do claim it. We do e-claim submission. So definitely, within the first 2 weeks of the month, we are able to submit. And so that delay does not happen in Margaret Marquardt Hospital. Yes, it could happen in some cases, but it's not in Margaret Marquardt Catholic Hospital.
Okay. So I was asking earlier what effort you've made, to the authority to find out what's causing the delay. Have you been told what's happening?
We always engage them. The district office in Pando, we always engage them. The explanation they give is that they have to release funds from government. So those are some of the excuses they give.
So as we speak today, you've decided that you're not going to render services to NHIS cardholders again.
We haven't. We can't do that. We are a mission hospital, and there is no way we can do that. We'll always provide service to health insurance clients, but we are appealing to the authority to reimburse it. So
okay.
I want it to be on record that we can never deny our clients the health care that they need because we are a mission hospital. We don't even go on strike, let alone deny our clients that service. So definitely, we'll continue to provide a service to health insurance clients, but we are appealing to them to reimburse the facility so that we don't collapse.
So if the payment doesn't come, within how many weeks you may probably say, okay, you've got into your wit end and you can't continue?
We will, by all means, manage to continue to provide a service to our clients. We don't have any time limit. We will, but we are appealing to them to provide, to actually reimburse the facility.
Okay. All right. I'm grateful to you. So we've been trying to reach the National Health Insurance Authority to get some response from them. If we are successful, we'll get to them so we can hear what they also have to say about this, because what we understand is that it's across board. Many of the service providers have not been paid and it's having a toll on service delivery. Now moving to other stories. Residents of Sokoban, Ampayo and its adjoining communities say they are convinced a road obscurity caused by a stationary metal container is responsible for an accident which caused a fuel tanker to burst into flames last week. They recount several road accidents that have occurred as a result of this engineering anomaly between Sokoban and Ampayo. After witnessing the unfortunate gas tanker explosion on Thursday, the residents are demanding an immediate solution. There is more in the following report.
A tanker loaded with 55,500 liters of gas toppled on the Sokoban-Ampayo road after a burst tie on Thursday. Residents commuting along the route say this obscurity on the curve of the road is a threat to road users. They are calling for an immediate resolution to forestall a future occurrence. This is a very sharp curve. We driving many cars find it difficult to use this route. They had to clear some houses to widen the street because if we don't take care, the outcome won't be encouraging. The accidents are usual. The drivers don't take their time when driving. The accidents are really usual over here. I think if there is a notice here, it will really help. Or maybe we can have speed ramps around.
Another car.
Sometimes while working, we see some of these car tires bust, leading to several motor accidents. We are really scared working around this place. The assembly member for the area, Kojo, says there must be reforms to ensure the safety of road users. He believes something can be done about the sharp curve to reduce the persistent motor accidents. The curve makes it difficult to use this road. The curve is really sharp. We suggested to the contractor to help widen the street. Drivers are unable to use the road right after curving.
car ye gina we hwe CD car is no AC twa curve na America any CD AC and twa curve na se intimate ne en wanya ekwan no mu akọ straight enti se wan hwe na onimu kwan no so a twa curve na I think say e do beba enwura mu abedane te se de eja no a ehyehye no.
So this is where the gas tanker explosion occurred. The driver was coming from my back as I am standing here and then unfortunately fell here. According to residents, the rampant car accident is causing fear and panic. From Sokoban and Payo, Nana Boache Dankwayadom reporting for JoyNews.
Now, one illegal miner has been left injured after some police officers stationed at Asanko Gold Mines allegedly shot him in a renewed clash. 24-year-old Joseph Mensah from Abrem in the Amansia South District of the Ashanti region suffered a fracture and injuries on his stomach. He was rushed to the Agroyesum St. Martin's Hospital, where he is currently responding to treatment. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
The miner, together with many others, invaded the Akwasiso pit of the company to steal some gold-bearing materials. According to the firm, the police attempt to stop the youth resulted in a confrontation that required officers to fire warning shots, leaving one of the youth injured. The firm said the police officers had no choice but to defend themselves as the youth were allegedly carrying machetes and cutlasses. Acting General Manager of Asanko Mines, Ahmed Mohideen Yahya, said 2 of the illegal miners were arrested following the confrontation.
GBM gold-bearing material in the pit which is not allowed. So in the course of that, they had interaction with the security, and they threatened with machetes to slash any policeman who dare even come close to them. So the police felt threatened, their lives were in danger, so they had to take an action. So in the course of that, they had to fire a shot that hit one of the Glamso operators, and he was arrested. 2 additional guys were also arrested. We took them to the police station. The one who got injured got treated and was handed over to the police. So more or less it's like a backlash from the community, the Glamso activities, because they felt it was a right to also mine where we are mining, and that is a huge concern for us.
The youth became angry, mobilized, attacked and vandalized the company's vehicles, with one of their tipper trucks bent.
Numbering close to about 40 came to vandalize our security post, and they headed towards where this car was parked to set on fire. They went ahead to block other trucks that were hauling all to this point, and they vandalized 2 additional trucks on it. So that's the bent car. I see the 2 additional trucks. We've moved them out of here to the yard to be fixed. They are for our subcontractors. That's a Blodge and AKL.
Mr. Yaya noted that the mining company is surrounded by 25 communities and that it will be impossible to employ all the people in those areas as expected.
We can't employ everybody. We cannot employ everybody. We have about 25 communities around. So whatever job we have, we spread them across. And it's not everybody that can have opportunity of working on the mine. So we do our best. But this is an issue, even if you ask them to go and do farming, they felt this was a lucrative business. Doing galamsey was lucrative for them. So whatever work you give them, some too we do even employ them. They come and work within 1 or 2 months. They felt, look, if I'm going to galamsey, I get more money. Why don't I go and do my galamsey? So it's a big issue, not a question of unemployment, which you can. We do our best to employ them, but we can't employ everybody.
The assembly member for the Abrem electoral area, Amo Edward, however, said the attitude of the company towards the community folks is unfair and unacceptable.
That's the last 2 years, we moved between on Yamsa, and me and I'm a corner on channel, a group, a G, a question. Omutimichi will be no mabuno. And Kobe into Venus in a Buapasha, my someone causing moons in his BT, na I don't know. Baby, anyone now, Ugani Omkobunu too, and I be Biakwanya say, I didn't see Wednesday 9:30 p.m. But Kobo say opopenya daji anaso onyankra say yabo no betua awia 2:30 ansa na omode akora na man de na ba hospital no mo keep no adwuma mu apese mo kuma akora no enti ade a omoye.
According to him, the youth were only trying to process some of the waste products left by the company but came under attack.
Nye waste omo na beka but all be ko ho a omo de sign post we say waste dump. Enti ye waste obi ekoyi na se ye kwan se ya wa oni tua ehɔ ne ye kwese wo so monko waste dam ho na monko sesa bi na monfa mefele enti akora na kwese sa wonim se ye waste because mansi mu wona ankaza wonya kwan nko apart from one or mobile kwese sa no munya na ade a mpemfo no mesisu ne se mpemfo ni nim hu bi because baby ade no wono se panyini bi amakwan a nipa ne ntimi nko enti se mo no mo ya agreement na se duru baby na se kotia ma na o mama police for na abamu no. And the same pain for the person you idea almost on yet right way and also monya idea Emma friends and crown because me wa beji music say wa mama Oscar adechin be fa de na mabanaga so ma memfa menti ase.
The district chief executive for Mansia South District, Clement Opoku Jemfi, said the assembly is considering measures to bring lasting peace between the company and the communities. He said steps are being intensified to continue engagements with the youth, including chiefs of the various communities, to settle the situation.
Wherever there is lawlessness and lawfulness, I should always be on the side of lawfulness. However, I mean, these young folks are within our communities, so there will be round table discussions. That will not take away the fact that there should be investigations to that effect and the criminal aspects will be dealt with. We can probably deal with the civil issues, but issues pertaining to the criminalities or otherwise of it, that is not up to me, the chief executive, to go into it. That would be so bad to be doing. But for the civil aspects and their demands, both from the company and from the community folks, that we can come back to the drawing table and then decide on what to do. Let me reiterate that the criminal aspects of this whole issue, I will not go into it. I'll leave that for the police service to deal with it, and whoever it's found will be dealt with according to the law.
Mr. Jemfi urged the youth to remain calm as their grievances will be appropriately addressed. Reports by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Now let's go live to the Ministry of Finance, where Pensioner Bondholders Forum are holding a news conference as part of the 7th day protest. Also with them again is Sophia Kufo, former Chief Justice.
To enable it move ahead with the IMF program. And we said from day one that if government exempted pensioners, they could still make the 80% and move ahead. So the idea that if pensioners didn't come under the program will not succeed and Ghana will suffer was not the correct position of the situation. We believe if we are not in, we could still get the 80% and move ahead. So now we have gotten the 80% and we can move ahead with the IMF program. The minister has given assurances that those who didn't tender in their bonds will be paid their coupons and principal when due. That is already an assurance that the issuer has given from day one when the issuer was issuing the bonds. No issuer issue bonds and do not promise that I will not pay. Every issuer who issues bonds, that's the first promise under the bond, that I will pay you the coupon and the principal when due. So the minister is just restating the old promise that that the issuer has already given to the bondholders. If that promise was not there, nobody will ever give you his or her money. Because how can I give you money when you are not going to pay? So that promise is the original promise that the minister is giving. So that is fine that you again give this assurance. I liken it to somebody who is marrying and has given the marriage vow. If every year you want to go and renew your marriage vow, yes, the vow is already there. Whether you renew it or you don't renew it, the vow is there. So if you are going to renew it, you can renew it. But your old vow is there. So the vow or the promise to pay interest and principal is already there from the one that these bonds were issued. Now you come to the exemption that we are looking for. And let me take this opportunity to explain the difference between what we are in now. Now, as the minister said in the statement, he used the word self-exempt, if you have self-exempted yourself. So he's assuring the self-exempted people that they will also be treated like other people. We want to be like the other people, not like the self-exempt people. And if you say like the other people, he's referring to who? Those that has been exempted, the bond, the pension funds, and the teachers fund or whatever, the medical people's fund. But we are in the self-exempt group. We didn't want to be self-exempt. Self-exempt is by default. If you don't tender in your bond, you have self-exempted yourself. You have exempted yourself. If you tender your bond, you have joined the program. We wanted an exemption so that we don't be part of the self-exempt people by default. But because the minister still has not exempted us, we are now part of that group that we call self-exempt. That is not we want. We wanted to be self-exempt, and we are still fighting. We want to be exempted, and we are still fighting to be exempted. Now, the difference between exemption, the issuer exemption, and the self-exemption. If any issuer of any security is having problems and he wants to restructure the securities, and he tells you that for you, your bonds that you are holding, it is not part of the bonds or the loans I cannot pay. I may not be able to pay. So for you, don't come here. Rest. Yours is not part of the bonds I think I will have problem paying. So you, the loans that I have taken from you, I'll continue to do as I'm doing. There's no challenge whatsoever handling the loans I have taken from you. What I am restructuring are the loans that I may find difficult paying. And that is why I'm restructuring that side. So from day one, there is a difference. When the man say, the issuer say, you are exempted. Go home, go and rest. If you like, don't even read anything about debt domestic exchange because you are not part of it. But the others, I may have some challenges paying. That is why I'm exempting. So from day one, there is difference between the two groups. If you move forward, when the time comes and because the issuer has some impairment in its income generation ability, he is unable to pay. Those who were exempted, when they are talking to the issuer, what they will ask the issuer, you told us we are not part of these problems that you are having, paying coupons and whatever. That's why you exempted us. You didn't bring us in. You've said we are not part. Why haven't you given us our principal or our coupon? The issuer will just have to be begging, please, yes, I'm having problems. I'm trying to get you money as soon as possible. Those who have been self-exempted, those who have exempted themselves, if they go, the issuer still has the obligation to pay them. The issuer has still the obligation to pay both the issuer exempted holders and the self-exempted holders. So that obligation is still there. But these people, when they go, the issuer will say, well, I haven't gotten the money for you yet. I told you it's likely I will have some problems. So wait, I'm trying to get money to pay you. And that is why I say that your bond, I will term it as I told you so bond. the issuer will say, yes, I told you so, that I may not be able to pay. So that is why I wanted you to exchange it for the new one. And you didn't agree. So wait, I'm trying to get money to pay you. So you move to what I would term I told you so bond. So still here you see the difference between the two, the exempted guys and the people who exempted themselves. Then the third level that you can see a clear difference is that when the issuer is able to generate income, but not sufficient enough to cover both the people he has exempted and the people who exempted themselves. The issuer at that time, if I ask you as a pressman, and I want somebody to answer this question, the issuer, for example, we are two. I have given the issuer 1 million, and my brother has given the issuer another 1 million. The issuer, exempted me from the program. He said, don't come here, go and sleep. As for you, I don't have any problem at all dealing with the funds you have given me. It is your brother that I may have challenges. That's why I wanted your brother to come under. And my brother didn't go under. Now the issuer has only 1 million. He must give me 1 million, and he must give my brother who exempted himself 1 million. But the issuer now has only 1 million to give. Whom do you think the issuer will give that 1 million? The one the issuer has exempted. Good. So in case the issuer doesn't have enough money to go around, the people the issuer has exempted will be the first people to receive the little that the issuer has. And the rest, you will receive it, but you will wait for the issuer to generate another income before he pay you your coupons. So there's a difference between when the issuer has exempted you and when you have exempted yourself. We pensioners want to be exempted so that we are on a better ground than when we self-exempt ourselves. Now, thankfully, the program is ended. We didn't go under it. The minister has forced us to be part of the self-exempted people. That is not what we want. We want to be exempted, just as pension funds didn't want to be part of self-exempt. The Medical Association pension fund didn't want to be part of the self-exempt. They stood their grounds and they say exempt us. And the government didn't tell them that just opt out. Just opt out and I'll pay you your bonds. Why didn't the government tell the pension funds that just opt out? It is voluntary. Just opt out and I'll pay you your bonds. Why didn't the government tell the medical people just opt out, become a self-exempt person and I'll pay you your. The government or the minister knows that there's a difference between the issuer exempting you and you exempting yourself. When the issuer exempts you, he has added responsibility because you were not part of the bonds that the issuer says he may not be able to service. So that is where we want to be, that we want the issuer to exempt us. Now the issuer has gotten the 80%, so he's going ahead with the program. The issuer wants us to remain self-exempt. That is not what we want. We want the issuer to exempt us as it exempted the pension funds, as it has exempted the Medical Association fund. Last 3 days or so, I think other 2 days ago, when the medical people wrote a letter to the minister or made a press statement, the minister has responded. A letter to them saying, you are exempted just like the pension funds has been exempted. What is preventing the minister from responding to our letter that we wrote? If now you know you have exempted us, or if you think what you have brought out to the public amounts to exemption, what is your difficulty taking a letter and writing to the pensioners that I refer to your letter so and so, please be assured that your bonds are exempted. The word exempted, if the minister doesn't want to use the word, the problem will not be solved. If the minister refuses to use the word exempted, you have been exempted, as the minister used for the pension funds and the doctors fund. this matter will not end. Just use the word, I have exempted you. It doesn't change what is available now. You now have your 80. We are not going to tender in anyway. Nobody is going to bring it. It is still in the old bonds. Why is the minister finding it difficult to respond to our letter and just tell us that you have been exempted? This is what we want the minister to do. And I have told the minister in a meeting last Friday that he knows. I know he has worked in the securities market. He knows. And I have been in the securities market, so I know that there is a difference between when the issuer has exempted you and when you have exempted yourself. We did not decide to exempt ourselves. We're waiting for the minister to exempt us. He didn't exempt us, and once the period is closed, we become self-exempted people. That is not what we want. We want the minister to respond to our letter, the petition we sent, which was delivered to his office on the 10th of January 2023. He has the address there. He should just address a letter to us as he addressed a letter to the medical association people and just say pensioners has been exempted from the DDG, and that will end the matter. Otherwise, we will continue to fight until that word is used by the minister in a letter to us. That is the end of my submission, and I'll wait to answer questions.
Dr. Anche, so per what you have said now, does it mean that you believe that although government says there is no money, it will still get some money to pay those that it has said it has exempted, for which you are forcing to get onto that list?
Yes, I have said that in the securities market, in this bonds market, when the issuer has exempted you, and there is little money that cannot go around all of you, the issuer will first treat the people that the issuer itself said, I have exempted you. And that is where we want to be.
Okay.
Well, very interesting thoughts there, but details or more from that particular news conference over here on the JoyNews channel. Now, his neighbors never understood his resolve to collect heaps of plastic waste in their community, thinking he was mentally deranged. But they would later find out that he is building a fortress for his home against the harsh weather conditions. Jonas Zomelo, a native of Kewono in the Ada East district of the Greater Accra region, goes about daily fetching empty plastic bottles in an attempt to rid a small village which is already reeling under impact of rising sea levels of plastic pollution. Emmanuel Bright Kweku caught up with a carpenter who is poised to erect a tourist attraction with plastics in his village.
Amidst the clustered settlement along the Volta River in Kewono sits this well-crafted fence protecting a thatched house. The fence is designed and constructed with empty plastic bottles on a bamboo framework. As he welcomed a team of budding West African climate change journalists into his new home, Jonas Zomelo, the developer, explained the increasing plastic pollution at the community informed his innovation.
I'll be saying it's a waste on the environment. And I decided to use some technology for it. So I'm not changing the form to this one. Okay. So the idea just came there. I just went on YouTube. Then I saw some people to adding some.
A carpenter is conventionally known to be adept at using wood for his designs and constructions, but Jonas has a living irony to the woodcraft specialty. Realizing the detrimental effect of plastic waste on the environment, he added on the skill to reuse plastic waste from the beaches and behind the homes of his neighbors for a variety of artworks and buildings. It takes Jonas close to 24 hours to interlock the bottles and erect them as a fence.
Thinking of it, how to manage to do it. So if you see it, you can see that place. I've used rope for it. Then I decided, no, let me change the plan. So this one. So I'm planning to use most technology to try. First, I have a room here, a room bar. I scatter it and I want to use the same technology.
Okay.
So
Residents of Kewino endure the sweltering weather conditions with rising sea levels, which is gradually eroding their lands. The coastal village lacks a well-established waste management system, forcing residents to discard domestic waste behind their homes until they bulge into a pile of garbage mixed with sand. It is not a deliberate decision to dirty the community, but rather an interim solution to control flooding in the area.
When the water is flowing, you realize that it will flow and then it will draw the arc like the way they've covered the place, and to come this way, which means that if this is extended towards this place, the water will not affect it.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do they do it normally?
You just put the woods there and then start dumping.
However, this local solution could contribute to exacerbating the woes of residents in the community. They hope the local government authority would furnish them with a proper waste disposal mechanism. For JoyNews, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
All right, so let's take you back to the Finance Ministry, where the former Chief Justice, Justice Ofer Kufo, is speaking to JoyNews.
For instance, Gabi Asaro-Chidrako tweeted that, so he tweeted that there is no need you coming here to protest over this bond issues, and so what's your take on that?
He can decide on. He doesn't decide for me what I need to do and what I do not need to do. It's as simple as that. I don't have time for things like that. People like that are not important to me or to my life. It's a disturbance. That's all I've got to say about it.
What do you say to the new directive from government, the new statement coming from government that there is an option, a voluntary option that you can sign on and get your monies paid?
But that whole program is now over, isn't it? Yes, and we chose not to sign on to it. Now, the way things are going, what I sense and what I smell is the creation of two categories of people, or two classes of people. Those who have been exempted by the hey, you want me to lick it? Those who have been exempted by the issuer, I think Doctor was very clear with the distinction. Yes. And then now they are calling those who refused to sign on to the debt exchange, they're calling them self-exempted. No, they simply refused to sign. They just simply want to stand by the original bond that they have with the government. And the word bond is not used as a casual term. Bond means tied to. Yes, and when a government's bond can be tossed up and down the tides like that, flip flop, that's a serious thing. For me, my problem with this whole thing is the destruction of the image of this nation, and something that is being done which will last for generations. It took a long time before normal Ghanaians would even buy anything to anything that is government, because there was always the suspicion, tomorrow you don't know what will happen. Now they are reintroducing that. All that needs to be done. And Doctor was talking about a letter, simple letter, that was written by the association to the minister. Exempt us from your program. I think that's the gist. I always like to distill things to their lowest common denominator. Exempt us, we are pensioners. Up to now, I've seen a copy of the letter. It's dated 7th January. According to Doctor, it was delivered on 10th January. Up to now, there's not even a note I'm not even saying a letter, a note of acknowledgement. And yet, a few days ago, similar letters that had been written to the minister have been responded to, whereby he has categorically exempted other groups. Why? And you know, when I cannot fathom the reason for something being done in a particular way, especially when it's been done for others, but it's not being done for others, I start getting suspicious. I've grown to be to the age where I've seen it all, and therefore I easily become suspicious. Gabi Ochiridako can call me paranoid. I don't care. We're talking about people, we're talking about human beings, we're talking about people who have served this country and have served well and served hard. Not easy service when you're not a member of government and you're calling yourself a member of government. So that's all I've got to say about this matter. That's why I'm still sitting here.
Okay, is there a mistrust for government where you cannot take government on its own word when it says it will honor your bond?
Paper talks. Paper talks. Empty talk flies with the wind.
All right, so we'll take a quick break here. We'll return with business. Stay with us. So let's take you back to the Finance Ministry, where the former Chief Justice is still addressing the press.
They come cheap. So we are waiting. When they become due, we shall see. But it will be better that for all of us and for the nation too, that he responds to the letter that's been sent to him. Why? What's stopping, apart from pride, what else is stopping the issuance of a response to the letter? Hey,
So that's former Chief Justice Ofeya Kufu, who has joined the picketers at the Finance Ministry, demanding that the ministry comes out to say that the pensioner bond holders have been exempted from this domestic debt exchange program. Details from that particular press encounter will be here on the Joy News channel in our subsequent bulletins. Now, you're still here on the Joy News channel. We've been bringing you a coverage of the pensioner bond holders who have been picketing at the Finance Ministry, demanding that the government, through the Finance Ministry, comes out to declare that they have been exempted from this domestic debt exchange program, even though the government says it has ended with some 80% participation, but they still want a very concrete exemption from that particular program, and they want the ministry to, ensure that they are exempted. That's where you had the former Chief Justice signaling that they want a document to prove that, in fact, the pensioner bondholders have been exempted. Well, my name is Samuel Kojo Brace, and this is where we would end today's edition of News Desk. There's more news on myjoyonline.com. Do continue enjoying our channel. Good morning.